Uncut Gems, the untold story of who created Furby. Uncut Gems. For those of you that don't know, this is the movie that Adam Sandler isn't like Adam Sandler.
Now that's what I call high quality A2O.
And I think that's why everyone's like, what's going on here? This is the first time since Funny People that Adam Sandler has been in a more serious-ish role. And this is unlike any Adam Sandler performance you've seen.
I told you about how things were gonna go. You like the way things are going now?
That's my family! Get the kids out of the house!
You having a good time?
Yes.
Yeah, this is directed by the Safdie brothers, and oh my god, it's different.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. I don't think either of us saw Good Time, but this is their second film that they've done. Hey, let's just get into the pros and cons.
Ransom.
Alright, I'm actually going to start with the cons on
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Hot take.
So this is the second movie, and there are some beautiful shots, and just like all around, the visuals are dope as hell. But there are definitely some camera angles that they use that just don't make sense. One that I caught that was like very much like, whoa. There's like a scene where one of the characters is walking down and like people are kind of like giving her shit. The way that it's angled is angled from the right side of her, the camera. So she's talking into the camera, you know, because that's what you gotta do, so your line can come across, but it's also opposite of the crowd, and so
It's not actually pointing at them when she's referring to them.
yeah, so she's like, the crowd's here and she's talking this way. It just doesn't make any sense, you know, especially if you've been in theater, like that's something you'll notice that you're like, well, okay, you're talking towards the audience, but then not referring to the person that you're talking to, you know. So it was like one of those things that kind of like took me out of the movie.
Little weird.
But other than that, that's just my con. There's some weird camera angles at points.
I think for mine, this movie is uncomfortable. The weird thing about this con is it also works into my pro here. When I say this, the movie is frenetic. Its pacing is like non-stop tension the entire time, which creates for an interesting film in what the message of the movie is about, right? But it is definitely a movie that some will get some different mileage from. Some people are going to feel incredibly uncomfortable here. Some people are like not going to be able to get through those tense moments, and it's high anxiety to a level that I can't remember that I've ever seen before. But on my pro kind side here is this movie is unlike any other film that I've seen before, or at least in a long time. The tension of this movie is at its like weakness is annoying sometimes, but at its core also the movie's strength, because the movie is telling you this tale about someone who is obsessed with winning and never cannot stop being obsessed with that.
This is me. This is how I win.
So it works very well in these moments where it seems like life is almost too fast for him to keep up with, so he just literally rides the waves constantly. It's like he doesn't even have a moment to think. And so you, the audience, likewise, are along with that journey with him. So you're on a roller coaster the entire freaking time. I mean, some of these scenes are literally just like phone calls are ringing, he's accepting calls, somebody's trying to talk to him at the same time, there's this guy outside that wants to beat his ass. You're like, what is going on here? So much stress.
Yes, it's constantly moving, and that makes for what my pro is, I think. It's really this weird underdog story. But it also makes fun of that trope of making that underdog story, because usually it's always the finer pieces of life that are coming up and rising to the top, you know? But in this case, this guy is a really messed up dude.
He's an asshole.
Yeah,
You don't like it.
He always is just thinking about how can I make an extra dollar.
Or manipulate the situation to my advantage.
Yes,
I don't know if it's
exactly.
always monetary related, but he believes that's success, though.
Yeah. So any way he can get it, he does it. He tries, and there are like times where you're definitely rooting for him, and then times where you're like, okay, you need to stop. You're being a dick. Yeah, it's just this strange underdog story that really plays on all of the tropes of that. You know, having the romantic interest be what holds you up and supports you,
But also,
is also using you, and you're also using them constantly. And like there are other characters like that's trying to get money from him.
that are
and
closer
they're
to him than you would think originally.
Yeah, and so it's so weird and so strange, but it's really cool to see somebody kind of attack that sort of story and say, well, it's not always perfect.
Yeah, the movie is not going to end the way you think. That's what leads me to kind of giving it a very weird score when we come to the end of this movie and thinking about how you feel about it. And if I had to go off of a rate right now, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. With like the encouragement to give it a 10, but because of that unrelenting pace of the movie, which again is part of its strength, it's also a con because it's hard to watch.
Yeah, it often feels exhausting while you're watching it. There are times where I definitely felt like, oh, I need to just take a breath. Like I just want him to slow down.
Are you as 9 as well?
I'm gonna say a 9.
I know there's a lot of people in the audience that watches us here over at Worthy Watchers that have some level of anxiety that goes into tension building, and normally the structure is for tension to build slowly, and so then there's a climax. But the tension already starts at 12 here, and then goes to like 21.
Yeah,
it's like
it just keeps building on itself.
Yeah, it's insane. So it's not something that I can recommend you watch in the theaters. That's my point.
Yeah,
I think this needs to be something you choose. And if you're interested in Adam Sandler's incredible performance here, which I think is his best that he's ever been.
And there are amazing actors in this as well. Other than
Lakeith.
Adams.
Lakeith is great too.
Stanfield. Idina Menzel, I really enjoyed.
The NBA player. I mean, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I was so shocked.
I would say if you're looking for something that's different, if you're like us and want to find different sorts of things in film, then I would say this is a worthy watch for you. But yeah, I definitely say selective worthy watch.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe not now, but eventually. If you have anything else that you have seen this holiday season, let us know. I think we really want to see Little Women still.
Yes.
Parasite, obviously.
Parasite.
1917 when it finally comes to theaters.
Yeah,
Super late.
come on.
God damn. They should have released that in primetime. That movie will make
I know.
bajillions.
It makes so much.
Yeah, it's gotten great press. At any rate, there's so many things to watch, so stay tuned here for everything that's worthy in a theater near you. And so, hey, see you next time.
See ya.